right? And then goes all the way south to about, where does Phoenix hit? McDowell? Who said McDowell? Yeah, somewhere around there, right? So if you look at it, it's almost the dead middle. Another great thing about that corner is if you look at the zoning behind that, it's, do you know about that, Joe?
Commercial.
Nice and loud.
Commercial.
Commercial. But even better yet, it's zoned for a boutique hotel.
Correct.
Kind of like, it's a little bit too small for like a Ritz-Carlton, but it's going to be pretty neat little hub. 5 years maybe. So we do have that in escrow. The closing date is around the end of March, and then we got 8 months to figure it out because our existing lease doesn't expire until the end of December. So we'll slowly start moving people into that building. So far, so good, right? So I'm in the middle of December, and I'm like, who cares if the government shuts down, right? Like, how does that affect me? So the first day I'm actually back to work, I need an EIN number for the new entity that's buying the building.
Shut down.
Can you get an EIN number right now? No, you can't get one. Anyway, fascinating, right? A lot of interesting things going on in the economy, the trade agreement with China. Interest rates have gone backwards, right?
Yeah.
Who saw that coming? Nobody. I mean, it's absolutely interesting. So December has opened, January has really, yeah, David.
You left out the best part.
What's that?
Extra set of bathrooms next door.
Ha! Yes!
You forgot the shower.
The men now have 4 urinals.
Dave, I know.
And now this is fascinating. There's a side of the building I was at. Who's been to Ocean 44? Pretty swanky place, right? All their restrooms just say MW and just a spot, right? So on the east side of that building, we do have 2 bathrooms that are just going to say M, men, and W for women. They're going to be, I've already decided you're just going to use them. It's the way everything's going anyway. There are designated restrooms in the front that say men or women, or men and then women, but the other one will say MW. So men, clean up your act. And as my mom would say, put the lid down. All right, here we go. So some great housekeeping stuff, right? We have 223 agents. We're at an all-time high. We did, this is 1.135 billion in business. 10% over last year, second year in a row over $1 billion. $87,000 walks out our door every day in commissions. So I think you guys got lead generation down, right? Fabulous year. So at the end of our meeting today, we are going to take a picture. We're going to take a group picture, and we're going to throw that out into the social media world. Unless you guys can convince me, I'm not going to do what the other brokers are doing about the top 10 teams and the top 10 individuals. If I do get feedback from top producers that want that out there, I'm going to resist that unless you guys tell me otherwise. I think 1.135 billion and putting that out there is more than enough. Because what about that guy in 11th or that gal in 11th space, right? It's like, geez, man, you threw this out there everywhere. Can you go to the top 15? Can you go to the top 20? Can you just print everybody? Any feedback on that?
I'll tell you what makes it more impressive. The 1.1 billion is impressive enough. Divided by the 200 and say 20 agents that we have, and do the math. So for example, HomeSmart will be the number one when the Business Journal comes out, and they're going to see they did like $6 billion of business, but it took them 6,500 agents to do that. So when you do the math, that's less than $1 million of production per agent.
But they did a good job getting 65.
These are the numbers that the Business Journal puts out. There's nobody better than RE/MAX Fine Properties on a per agent basis.
Yeah, when you research firms for 25 agents or more, we're the most productive by far, almost 35%. I think was.
That's the number. It's not the 1.1 billion. It's what the 215 agents that took us to do that, that's the impressive number.
Right, so a couple of other things that you guys need to know. How many offices, how many RE/MAX offices are in the state of Arizona? Raise your hand. How many RE/MAX offices are in the state of Arizona?
38.
More.
72.
71, David. What the hell?
I told them last week.
Oh, you did?
No, I'm kidding.
You studying for your MCAT?
I didn't.
Nice job. All right. When's R4? When's R4? The RE/MAX big convention. When?
25th.
End of February, February 25th. That's right.
28th.
Dallas' birthday.
When? Who's
Dallas' birthday.
Dallas's birthday? All right. That's. You want me to introduce new agents? All right. We got some new. Or is that later? Oh, Greg's gonna explain. All right. Go ahead, Greg.
Excuse me. All of you have this right here on your seat. It is a financial planner. And if some of you have been here longer than I have, this looks very familiar. I received this when I walked in the door to RE/MAX Fine Properties. Jim Dustin handed this out to me, and I used it all the time. So this one is just something that you can use. It's strictly up to you if you want to use it or not. But if you don't start planning, how can you get to your goal? All right, so plan there. If you want this, I have it in yearly, monthly, yearly, monthly, weekly, and daily.
And hourly.
So it depends. On the weekly, on the daily, it actually has it broken down by hour. But if you need each one of those to where you want to be hyper-focused on what you have to do that particular day, come see me. I have the 4 sheets, and you can just make copies of it. So what you're going to look for is right up here on the very top. How much do you want to make? So if I want to make $500,000, right here, that's what my income and that's what my GCI is. So if I want to do $500,000, I have to figure out how am I going to get there, right? Well, my average sales price, I do $750. That's what my average sales price is per unit that I sell. So not too bad, right? How many units do I have to get? That's the question. So I multiply my 750,000 times 3%, and that gives me 22,500 roughly.
I'll take it.
All right. How many people want a 22,500 check every single time? Me too. So if I get that and I multiply that out, how many units I have to do? It ends up being about $16 million in volume a year is what I have to do to get to my goal. How many units is that? You divide it all out by your 500,000 by the number of commission checks, and that's 22.2 units every year. On the very bottom, this is where you're going to figure out how many units you need to do as a buyer's broker and how many units you need to do as a selling broker. If you are a really strong listing agent, I would go heavy on the listing side because you're probably going to have more listings than what you do buyers. So there's a monthly goal right here. If I know that I'm going to do probably 15 listings to get to there, and then the rest is going to be on the buyer, so there's 7 down below, you're going to put in there how many listings you have to have and sell each month. So how many is that roughly? 1 a month, and there's a couple in there you're going to have 2 or 3, right? So that's fairly reachable, right? Closing 1 deal a month, 2 deals a month on others, and then when you throw the buyers in, that's 2 to 3 deals every month to get to your goal of $500,000. I just threw $500,000 out there just for the heck of it. If your goal is to get 250, you do exactly the same thing. It's really pretty simple. You have to know what your average sales price is to get here. So that means you're going to have to do your own homework, see where you were at last year, figure out what your goal is, and if you're in that kind of, I like to sell those $500,000, but I want to bump up this year and go to the $750,000 or $1 million, this is what the goal sheet is. It's to help you get there. Put this on your mirror, put this at your desk, whatever you have to remind yourself on a daily basis to do that. We had one of our agents come to me, because I talked to him about this last week. He said he used to make all of his agents on his team keep it on a little card in the back pocket. And if he asked them where it was, they better be able to pull it out and show it to him. Joe, how'd that work out for your team?
Fantastic. And if you didn't have it, you went home to get it.
Yeah. So it's just simple. Have it there every single day so you know what you have to do. How many times you wake up in the morning and it's Monday morning and you're like, crap, I don't want to go to the office today. January, okay? So please, think about what you want to do for the year, plan it out. That way you can actually reach the goal compared to flying by the seat of the pants and hoping that you get there. If you fill your hand full of hope and your other hand full of something else, guess which one's going to fill up first? The other one. So we talked about this every single year. Usually we talk about it in business development in November, so you can start planning for the next year. So you're about 15 days late right now, but that doesn't mean you can't catch up. All right? One more thing, and then I'm going to get off my soapbox. In your mailboxes, I put the draft 1099. I need back today to make sure that your social security number or your EIN is correct, your address is correct, and if your GCI is correct. Everything should be perfect. There's also in the bottom left-hand corner, it's going to say expenses. That is everything that you have paid into RE/MAX Fine Properties. That is your RAP, that's your E&O, and that is your office bill. Okay? So if you have any questions, please come to me and see me. I'll be glad to explain it. I can pull up your reports and I can show you exactly where everything's at. All right?
All right,
Thanks.
now I'm going to work some numbers a little bit backwards too. So can cells be scientific? Can it be a formula?
Yes.
All right, this is unscripted. This person does not know I'm going to be calling on them, right? Marianne, all right. When we door knocked late last year in that McDowell Mountain Ranch area, right? How many doors did we hit that day?
7.
7 doors, all right? Remember we had, I think, 2 conversations that day,
Right.
okay? One of them's name was,
Want me to
what was his name?
row it?
Rowett. You heard it, right? Okay.
What was his wife's name?
No idea. Come on. Details, Mary, details. All right, so that day we hit 7 doors and it equaled 1 listing. Now it took us 6 months to get it. It took us 6 months to get it, all right? 7 doors equals that day 1 listing. Then you have to see, can you duplicate this? This is why numbers and tracking are extremely important. And Johnny, I know you're into this, right? So 21 doors should equal how many listings? 3. Now, that's a pretty good hit ratio, wouldn't you all agree? I don't believe that number is going to stand up. Do you? No. I think it's going to be more around 14 doors will equal 1, right? But that day, it was 7, 2 conversations, 1 listing. Then, right now, market's tight. Sandy told me yesterday there's 11,000.
15.
Sorry, my bad. 15,000 single-family detached homes in the marketplace, right? Listings are golden. Wouldn't you agree? Listings are golden. All right, so if that holds up, and let's say that out of those 3 listings in 2019, 2/3 are going to sell, right? Then 21 door knocks, 3 listings, 2 sales. See how you can work it backwards? So if you want 10 sales, I'll make it easy. 10 sales, that means 210 door knocks. Right? Now, that wasn't a normal door knock, was it, Mary? Because we door knock aggressive door knocks, and here's what I mean by that. Expireds and cancels. I wish Scott Dexter was here today. Last week, Tuesday, 5 p.m., we hit 4 or 5 doors in Desert Ridge. One of them we hit, knocking on the door, 3 trucks in the driveway, nothing, right? So when I door knock, I also have phone numbers with me that Pam Bay provides, expireds and canceled. Zip codes are for sale with Pam Bay. Where's Pam Bay? Pam. Zip codes are for sale, guys, and they're dynamite. So let me give you an example. So I door knock, 3 cars in the driveway, nobody answers. Leave my marketing packet. His name is Martin. We're driving away. I call him. Martin picks up. And I'm like, I just dropped the marketing packet off of your front door. He goes, yeah, I'm hiring Mike Dahmer. I said, well, why are you hiring Mike? I said, I'm your neighbor. I live right here in Desert Ridge. I've been selling 85050 for 25 years. And he goes, well, maybe we'll meet. And I said, I've set 480 cells in Desert Ridge. Set up an appointment the following day, and we listed him yesterday. 1,070,000 with the basement in Desert Ridge. Now, if it's not door knocking, that's okay. But my point in the conversation is you can be scientific and you can do these numbers backwards, and they do work. They do work. I don't think that 7 would hold up. And the reason why I went to Marianne is I wanted to show you guys true, definitive working information. Mary, have you door knocked since?
Yes.
Oh, you have?
Yeah.
How many? That's a good start.
I'm just gonna be real direct when I door knock from now on.
Well, be careful. People
I
don't.
know, but I'm so tired of people slamming their door on my face.
Oh, come on. I've never had a door slammed on my face.
I have.
Okay.
So,
I have.
see?
I've been flipped off. I've been called
Yeah.
All right. So if it's not door knocking, right? So what you're going to hear a lot from me. I'm reading the 12 steps that everybody should know, right? It's a great book. I'll have to bring it in. And one of the things that the guy talks about is really your business strategy is a board game. And all we're trying to do is get from point A to point B, right? That's all we're trying to do in life, is get to point A to point B. And, here it is, Jordan P. Peterson, 12 Rules for Life. Great book, very intense, right? Very intense. Thank you. Jordan B. Peterson, 12 Rules for Life. But in life, your pieces might be different than mine, and then people will change the game on you. Like, let me give you an example, right? Because your board game, like Jill Califf just told me that she's a grandma, right? Just recently, right? California, right? So her board game went from A to B to A to here, right? Because that's a big deal, right? So everybody's board game is different. This is my board game, not yours, right? Your board game might be Emily. Emily's having a baby. Your board game changed, right? So what does your board game look like? What are the pieces, right? What are the rules? What are the rules? How are you pushing yourself? What's your mission statement, right? You're going to hear me say that a lot in 2019 of what does your board game look like. Where's Davis? Colleen. Ha! What did you say in business planning last week that was freaking funny?
Not everybody's board game is the same.
Yeah, but it was even...
You didn't want to call.
You did something about pausing it. I'm going to skip this turn. I can't remember what you said.
Yeah, but I know. I was
If
pushing
Keith would
Colleen to
ever
do
send it
something.
out, we'd find
Oh,
out
I know
what it
what it was.
says.
Business planning now, we're practicing. I'm giving people a concept, and we're taking a 5-minute break, and I'm asking everybody to do what I just did. And Colleen goes, that's not my board game. All right, yeah.
All right.
Anyway, that was good.
New agents. All right, since our last meeting, which was November the 20th, we have had a number of agents come into our brokerage, and we're very happy that they're here. So Bernadette Greer, she's not here, but she joined right before the beginning of December. Danielle Filippi, George's daughter.
Yep.
Svetlana Senakova, she's not here. Dante Tootin.
Right here.
Dante, stand up. Tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
Hi, my name is Dante. I've been doing real estate probably for about 15, 20 years, sometimes part-time. I'm full-time now, retired school principal from New Mexico. And then I lived last year in Colorado, and I'm happy to be here. It's a great office. I love the energy I feel when I come into the office. And Dale's wonderful, Sandy's wonderful, Linda's wonderful. She sold me my house. And that's how I ended up at Times Square.
Grant McKenzie.
My name's Grant. I've been with RE/MAX for about 15 years. Partners in RE/MAX Legacy down in Rocky Point, and just super happy to be here. Love all the energy, and we're doing great.
Excellent. Dale Forney, I don't think he's here. Dale is actually another agent. His home base is actually in Washington State. So he's going to be spending dual time in our office and the one in Washington. Jane Grimm, she just came over from Caldwell Banker. She's with the Matheson team. Grant Van Dyke.
Yep. Grant Van Dyke. I've been with RE/MAX for 10 plus years or so. Looking forward to the energy
that Fine Properties is gonna bring. And the enthusiasm and professionalism, so, I don't know what else to say.
How about introducing your brother, Mark?
Yep, bringing Mark in the video too, my brother, and then
Katie in the back.
Katie Scully, yeah.
So if it wasn't for Katie, these other two wouldn't know what they were doing, so Katie keeps them in line.
Very true.
Katie, you want to stand up too? Just so you can, okay.
And then we have two in Flagstaff, Ashley Berardi, and then Melinda Lieber. So we want to say thank you to everybody that's being there, and we also have another team that's supposed to be coming on in the next few days. They have their own space, so they're not going to be in our main office, but it's going to be a great acquisition for us. So they're coming over from Keller Williams. Without further ado, Sandy Carpet.
So Joe made a joke earlier about me taking a hostile takeover. He took over my time.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But that's okay.
That's okay. Listen, one. I got carried away.
No, that's good. I got to tell you why. You've all known me for a bunch of years, right? Have you ever known me not to tell a story or be at loss of words? Is that fair to say? If you text me, you get a call back because I want to have a conversation, right? Is that fair to say? You email me, I call you back. I lost all of my notes of what I was going to talk about today. So I'm panicking while I'm driving here saying, oh God, what am I going to say? What am I going to say? What am I going to say? So who remembers Jeopardy, the good old days of Jeopardy with Art Fleming, who was the original host? Remember they used to have the topic, it said potpourri? I'm just writing shit down as I'm thinking about it. What can I say for the next 35 minutes that'll keep your interest? So I've got just a variety of things. This is not tied to anything specific. If you have questions, I love audience participation. So
Well, now you only have
here we go. Here we go. In December, I was at a meeting. I go to these monthly meetings, and I sit at the same round table with Commissioner Lowe. One of the things that she is emphasizing this year, amongst other things, and we'll talk about teams because in the first quarter she's coming out with these policies about teams and advertising and things, and we'll talk about that more later on. Games of chance. This is her big topic. I don't know why, but it is. If you advertise an open house, you advertise in the newspaper, you can't do a game of chance. And a game of chance is described as if somebody comes to my open house, they have a chance of winning a lottery ticket or a chance to win a dinner for two. Or if you just can't do it, okay? Anything that's a game of chance. Now, if you do an open house or advertise and say you come to this, meeting, and everybody wins a dinner for two, or everybody will get a free home inspection, or whatever it might be, that's fine because everybody's on the same playing field. But you can't do a game of chance.
Is this just to consumers, or can even like a broker open?
That's the question I asked, okay? So here's what can be done, right? So I want to do an open house with a lender. And the lender is offering a game of chance. Not us, they are. That can be done. We as realtors, because the lender or home inspection companies are not governed by ADRE. We are. So we can't do it, they can. That's why when we go to CE classes and you put your name in a bowl and somebody wins something, it's perfectly legal because we're not doing it, the other industries are doing it, if you will. Does that make sense?
Even as a broker open though?
Can't do it.
Okay.
Because you're still doing it to the real estate community.
Yeah. No,
Now, are they going to come down hard on us? Probably not. She's made that clear. This is not one of her things, but for some reason, she's picked this one topic just to bring out into the open. But she also did say, kind of on the side, this is not something I'm going to pursue unless it's a complaint is there. So just beware. Because the ADRE is required, when a consumer makes a complaint, they are required to investigate. Okay. Yeah.
So, in your marketing, would you have to specify, like, come to our open house and the lender is raffling a
Just be
prize?
careful, because if somebody complains, you have to defend that.
Okay.
Whose open house is that? Yours or the lender's?
Yeah, right?
There's a fine line there.
Yeah, there is a fine line, I agree. Just have to be careful. We could talk about it as you're doing it.
Advertising, or can you
Anything.
Can you just have it in the open
Nope,
house and when people
because
show
it's still a
up?
game of chance. It's still a game of chance.
I've made that mistake, sorry.
No, just don't apologize to me.
Well, I'm doing it on Thursday.
So just be aware of it. For some reason, this was the commissioner's, yes. Well, it's a policy. It's a substantive policy. It's always been. It's nothing new, but they're getting some more complaints about it. And my guess is, again, the only complaints they investigate is consumer complaints. They don't investigate realtor-to-realtor complaints. So I'm assuming some consumers are thinking it's false advertising. Annie Cole, you're not here, are you? Annie Cole called me over the weekend. She has an online advertisement, online, and it said call for a free list of homes for sale. So, or text me or whatever. So Annie gets this online, a response for a request. So Annie calls this person, and the person sent a really nasty text back. You're a liar, false advertising, I'm gonna report you. You said if I respond, you'll give me a free list of homes. So Annie said, now what do I do? So I said, send her the list of the MLS. That's a list of, Annie called to find out specific, right? Price range, location, amenities, to give her a specific list. Lady didn't want to be solicited, so I said, don't fight her. Send her the list. Send her the 15,000 homes that are for sale. And then say, if you need more information or specific, I'd be happy to help, right? So they have to investigate consumer complaints, all right? All right, let me talk about SkySlope. In your SkySlope, I do this every weekend, nonstop. This is my file audit. In your SkySlope, if you see anything in red that says expired, you need to act on it, okay? Because when you have something expired, if you have a listing, it either should say active or expired. And if it says expired, what it means is that your expiration date has come and gone, but it's still out there. So for those that don't know, here's what I do. On the weekends, I come in and I go through all the listings, all of your listings, and if I see it's expired, rather than just getting it out of the system, I go to MLS. And if I see it's still active in MLS, but it's expired in SkySlope, you're going to get a nice courtesy note that says, please provide the documentation that shows the extension of this listing. And by the next week, if I see it, it'll say second request. By the third request. By the fourth request, I'm getting angry. So then I just take it out of SkySlope, because eventually, when that listing sells and you go to convert your listing to a sale, you're not going to see it there. You're going to call me or Greg to say, where's my listing? We're going to get the paperwork anyway. So I'll just try to do it up front. On a sale, whether it's a listing that converted to a sale or you have a buyer side sale, if it says expired, what that means is that your closing date has come and gone and nothing's happened. So if it's within a week, I let it go because maybe it closed a day or two late, you're waiting for the closing documents, it closed on a Thursday, closing papers didn't come till Monday, no problem. But if it's over a week, you're going to get that same text or that same email. Please provide an update, close of escrow is passed, please provide an update, to this transaction. Did it cancel, whatever. And if it canceled, you just need some, the cancellation papers. If it's a lease, okay, a lease has a closing date. The lease on the closing date is the move-in date. Now, we all know that when we don't control the money flow on a lease, so we're the buyer side, we're waiting for the other company to send us a check, and that could be 2, 3, sometimes 4 weeks. So I'm a lot more lenient on that. But after about 4 weeks, if there's nothing there, then you're just going to get in. That's night. Did you get paid yet? Right? Like I asked you recently, did you get paid yet? Just want to get an update, and it's still an active listing because the closing date on a lease is the move-in date. Okay, so just if you see expired, it just means you have to do something about it. All right. Flagstaff. Anybody here from Flagstaff? They don't, okay, we won't talk about that.
It's snowing.
Zip forms. Zip forms is not going away, and it's not changing. I know there's been a lot of stuff going out there. The only thing that's changed in zip forms is the desktop version is no longer available. Okay, so there's an online version, Zip Forms Plus, and there's the desktop. The desktop is no longer available. And the reason is this. Once you took a file and you put it on your desktop, that file never changed. So if there was new forms that came about, or there's updated version or revised versions of forms, you didn't get it because you're stuck in the stationary desktop version. The only forms you can now get are online on the website itself. So if there's forms that have changed, you'll get the most up-to-date forms. So Zip Forms is not going away. AAR is looking to other service providers. It probably won't happen in 2019. There's a very good chance in the first half of 2020 it'll happen. And when it does happen, What will probably happen is they will do a phase out, phase in program. It won't be like one day we wake up and Zip Forms is gone and this new program is in. It'll be about a 6-7 month transition going from Zip Forms to it, but that's not gonna be for at least until 2020 or sometime. So Zip Forms is not going away, it's normal, just not the desktop version.
Isn't the online version go away, delete after, I don't know, a year or so, your files?
I don't think so.
No.
I don't think so. You have,
Desktop doesn't.
No, they go into your archives.
Pardon me?
They go into archives.
Okay.
So you can still get in there and look at them if you need to, but you just have to go through a separate section to get to the archives. I'll have to look at it. I don't know off the top of my head.
but I'll give you a phone number to call.
But I could be wrong, that's the secret, but I know that's why the desktop was there, to save it there and then keep it forever.
Okay, we'll take a look.
We can call AAR, the help desk too, at the AAR. We can call the help desk and they can tell us.
Yeah, and it's a little glitchy. This is something Keith helped me figure out. Zip Form Plus and Zip Forms Plus are the same thing. But the Zip Forms Plus, depending on the browser you use, is a little glitchy when you go to DocuSign or email it out. So use Zip Form Plus without the S.
Interesting.
Yes.
Did you guys know that?
Yeah.
And sometimes there's a little glitch with Chrome. If you're trying to print off like the agency, and there's one other form I can't remember off the top of my head, but it will only print like half of a page. So there's a couple of different ones you can use. Firefox, I haven't had any issues with Firefox using Zip Forms. For predominantly, Chrome does pretty well with Zip Forms, but there's still a little glitches here and there. So if it pops up, just remember. And can I say one thing about the desktop? If you are downloading any of our forms and putting them on your desktop or saving them, remember that if you try to put one in there and it's one of our affiliated business from 2017, most of those, there's definitely changes since then. So don't use that same one. Go back into Zip Forms online and pull the form right there. Okay? Thank you.
So Zip Forms. Speakers for the coming year. If you guys have any ideas of what you would like to hear, we've had, lawyers, we've had the commissioner, we have AAR, we've had the city of Scottsdale come out, we've had the police commissioner, whatever you think might be, if it new home builders, whatever you guys are thinking, just to let me or Greg know. We're happy to provide that. We're putting together our calendar for the coming year. So whatever kind of speakers you think might be of interest, one of us, we want to do a panel discussion. We've always done that every year with our own agents. So whatever you're thinking, just call us, let us know, send us a note, tell us, and we'll provide that for the coming year. Okay?
Remember, it cannot be sales driven from the speaker. So we've had a number of people who complained about being sales driven, like they were hit with a sales pitch. So if they have something that they're, like we had someone for our solar panels a couple of years ago. They absolutely said, no, it's no sales pitch, no sales pitch. Well, when they got in here, it was a sales pitch and we had to pull them off. So it's not, we want to make sure that we add value to you, not hit you with a sales pitch. So.
E&O insurance, right? So if you guys, by the way, just say this is something that we all should be very proud of. In 2018, we had one lawsuit. One. And it was a frivolous lawsuit at that, and I'll tell you what it was. We represented the buyer. The buyer was not coming into town to do their walkthrough. We told them, as we should, that we personally as an agent cannot do the walkthrough for them, but we recommended going back to the home inspection company or a friend or somebody to verify the items that would begin to be repaired. They signed off that they refused to do it and they waived their right to do a walkthrough. Closed the deal. They moved to town about 3-4 weeks later. A month after that, they discovered some things that were supposed to be fixed weren't fixed, and they sued everybody, the listing agent, the seller. They sued us, and even though we did everything we're supposed to have done, we did the proper paperwork, we did everything, it's costing one of our agents a few $1,000s to get out of this deal. It's a few $1,000s.
Now, is that E&O deductible or?
Well, the deductible is $10,000, so we're responsible for the first, as agents, we're responsible for the first $10,000. Here's where I'm going with this. If you got anything that you think might be an issue, we just need to know about it. Because if we ever get a lawsuit that we knew about and we did not contact our insurance carrier, they may deny coverage. They may deny coverage.
How do you handle that if they?
Just let me know. if you know that you'll sometimes call me, a lot of times you just give me a heads up. This issue is brewing, just want to give you a heads up. So what I will try to do is nip it in the bud right then and there. You know, my attitude has always been, you've heard this before, you know, we'll always try to do everything to solve it on the agent-to-agent level. And if we can't, then I'll do everything I can to solve it on the broker-to-broker level. Because once it gets past the broker level, you know, we're almost on a high wire without a safety net. You just don't know where it's going.
Yeah, and I know you're gonna throw out suggestions, but one of them for sure is have the inspection company do a post-inspection and see if they'll sign off on the walkthrough. Probably not.
Yes, for the same reason. For the same reason.
Yeah, or at least sign off on the fact that the repairs are in.
Right, or something.
We'll do a re-inspect.
Yeah,
Right.
But they're not gonna sign off.
Right, but not a reinspection of the home or a walk through of the home, just to verify those items. Well, the problem is, no matter how we try to protect ourselves, listen, we used all the forms, we did everything we were trained to do, and it's still gonna cost money, and it's just wrong. It's just wrong. But it could have been a lot worse if we didn't follow the rules that we're supposed to have done. So all I'm saying is, if you see something coming up, I will do everything, because, like I said earlier, if it's an ADR complaint, for example, they have to investigate. The last thing we want, the very last thing we want is ADRE in our offices.
Right.
We just don't.
Instead of a final walkthrough, can you do an addendum that says that the buyer waives the final walkthrough and put that in?
You
Is
could,
that what you can
but
do?
the same thing by signing the walkthrough that says the buyer waived his
What
right.
if you don't sign the walkthrough at all?
Well, we can't sign it.
No, what if nobody signs it? What if it doesn't get signed? 'Cause there
Well,
wasn't
then
a
you're gonna get
Then
called
you
on it
didn't
by
do your
me,
job.
because it
You're
has
not
to
gonna
be
get paid.
You
documented.
didn't do your
I'll give you an
job.
example. Who was it yesterday? Sonny, it was you, I think, right? I'm gonna pick on you, but it's a good thing. Sonny closed out a file, and there was no clue report or something? What was, there was no clue report, but Sonny bought the house for himself. No big deal, right? But I asked him just to put in the comment section, buyer waived the right to see the clue report. That's all, it's just documented. And the reason is, we don't get sued the day after close of escrow. When we get a lawsuit or a problem or complaint, it's 6 months, 2 years later. And we're gonna go back, whether it's me being the broker or somebody else, they're gonna go back to this file, they're gonna say, well, where's the clue report? If that was the case. I don't know. Did they miss it? Did the broker not do his job? Did the agent not do his job? Where's the clue report? Once it's documented that just says buyer waived it, at least we have an answer of why it's there. Okay, which is my next one. Commission worksheets, right? So Dell's always say we're entrepreneurs. This is your business, not our business. This is your business. You want to reduce your commission, raise your commission, take no commission, you have the right to do so. If you take no commission on a sale, you still need to complete a commission worksheet. And the reason is exactly the same. We just have to have it documented. You still owe E&O insurance on that, but we just want to have it documented, because if we ever do file audits and there's no commission worksheet, we don't know, were you supposed to get paid? Did you not supposed to get paid? Did you get paid? How much did you get paid? Is your 1099 right? We just don't know that.
Zero is a number.
Zero is a number, correct. So if you're doing a deal and you're taking no,
But one is the luckiest number.
actually a negative, because if you owe E&O insurance and no commission, it's a negative number. So negative numbers are a number too. Anyway, just fill out the commission worksheet, because otherwise we can't complete the file. The system doesn't allow us to complete the file unless all the, the required documents are in there. All right, let's see. I talked about that.
Yep, you're almost done.
R4.
No, on his list. It's on his list.
R4, it begins the last Monday in February, so it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. If you've never gone, think about going. It's not cheap, I know it gets expensive. We'll try to room you up with somebody. A lot of people drive, and they take 2 or 3 people with them. Where's Linda? Yeah, Linda drives a lot. I drive. If somebody's looking to get somebody there. It's really worth your effort. Grant, can I pick on you, right? Sure. I mean, Grant came back to RE/MAX in part because he wants the brand name and loves R4.
Yeah, true story.
Right? I mean, there's a lot. Joe goes every year. Christy goes every year. Christine goes.
I'm going.
Linda goes. It's just.
Bonnie, you usually go, don't you?
Bonnie's going to be a speaker this year.
Oh, why not?
You were asked to be a
You were asked to be a speaker.
Yeah, so we will, whoever goes, we will host a very nice
Yeah, we do
dinner.
a beautiful dinner every year.
Yep.
Everybody from Remax Fund Properties, our affiliates, it's a nice event.
Yep.
It's just a way to get out of the office, do some business, have some
You
fun.
gotta go register.
And so you have to do it on
Tomorrow
R4.
is the deadline for the early bird.
Tomorrow is the deadline for the early bird. Thank you.
I was just gonna say, I mean, there's so many great agents from around, as we all know. I mean, the referral opportunity is wonderful too.
Right.
We've done a lot of business.
Right, Karen Groban is an expert at that. Karen is an expert, yeah.
I'm really surprised.
So, say it louder.
I'm really surprised. You gotta invest in yourself if you want to become successful. You have to invest in yourself.
Yes, sir.
Camp Advantage every Wednesday, 9:30. I will encourage you, whether you're experienced agents, veteran agents, new to the company agents, makes no difference. Come to Camp Advantage because it's not designed like it once was years ago for just newcomers. We will talk about anything that's going on in your world. For those that come, I think get a lot out of it. They keep coming back. We'll get anywhere between 5 to maybe 12 people. It's small, it's intimate. Just show up. I promise we'll make it relevant to you. Right?
Yeah, and the same thing with business plan. I'll give you an example. The new format, Carl, right? So the new format is I made a call to wish everybody, wish one of my clients a happy 2019 and asked him his real estate resolutions for 2019. Now you can only use this for about the next 2 weeks.
Right.
And then I made a call, left a message, the class heard it, then we took a 5-minute break and I asked the class to then make a call. Carl made a call, and Carl, it turned out to be a winner, right?
Yeah, it wasn't a Happy New Year call. It was just somebody I hadn't talked to in 6 months or so. And he knew that I was in real estate, but they forget unless you have some sort of consistent contact with them. And so I called him and could develop into a real exciting scenario with, he knows a few developers that do like, fill-ins and like that, and maybe able to work something out to get all those listings.
Right, so I'm gonna be pulling you guys in the class to do what I just did, so there'll be like 5-minute intermissions where we're gonna go demonstrate, and then your turn, and then we're gonna talk about it when we come back in the huddle. And the stories have been great so far.
So there's great.
You have to have a plan.
So there's 3 great classes, right? Greg does Jumpstart on Tuesdays.
Keith and I do Jumpstart.
It's Tuesdays.
Tuesdays at 2.
Wednesdays at 9:30 every week in the office. Camp Advantage Business Development on Thursdays at 10 o'clock. They're all great classes.
Yeah, and next Thursday, Paul Baker.
Paul Baker's going to talk about
Not
that.
here, okay.
Okay, all right. Our 4, Shannon Quagliata has talked about this for a long time. It's coming. It's coming. You're going to get a flyer in your box today about pre-open house, the website, how you do open house. It's kind of like showing time, about showing a house, but it's about advertising online your open house. I got a great demonstration yesterday. It's a magnificent. Just have an open mind, and because it's new, it's never been done. It's going across the country. You will all get a free membership, compliments of Shannon. There's a small cost, but we're getting it for free. And what happens is you put your open house. Once you have a listing, you just click a button, say your open house is available. Somebody wants to do it from the company. They can click on. You can put it on not just this week, but you could put it on forever. I want an open house on May 14th. You can do anything you want in that, and somebody can pick it up, and then it tracks to who's there. It's a magnificent system. So there'll be a flyer in your box. So please look out for that.
And one of the good things about that, instead of calling, like if somebody has a question about the open house, and tell me if I'm wrong, somebody has a question about the open house, they actually call the agent who's doing the open house compared to the listing agent. So that way, if you say, yes, I'm going to do it, you're going to be the agent of record for that day. So you're going to get all the calls, you're going to get the leads from that. Okay, so it's a great tool.
It's an agent consumer direct. So the minute you accept the open house, it posts on the website, and then it's on there the entire time that it's live. So if it's on Saturday, it's on there from the time that you post it. So anybody interested between now, let's say, and Saturday, you would get the instant messaging from that client. So it's really cool.
Okay, 2 last things. I sent that, I do this once a week, back in the year again, just interesting case studies. Yesterday I sent one out that says timelines matter. I probably got more responses from that one yesterday about this and that. So let me just tell you AAR's perspective, because most of your comments were the same, and I agree with what you're saying, but AAR looks at it a little differently. If you have a closing that didn't close, let's say, on a given day, we know that reality says you cannot close a deal after 5 o'clock. Title companies are closed, the recorder's office is closed, can't be done. But AAR contract says the day ends at 11:59 p.m. So the question becomes, if I didn't close on a deal that was supposed to close today, can I issue a cure notice after 5 o'clock today, right? Because we can't do it before, because it still could close. But after 5 o'clock, when we know it can't close, can we issue a cure notice after 5 o'clock? Or do we have to wait until 12:01 tomorrow? And that's the answer. You have to wait.
Yes.
And I'm going to tell you, as crazy it sounds, but here's the theory behind it. The contract says a day ends at 11:59. So here comes this question. This is my question I asked Scott Drucker. Is it conceivably possible, in the smallest amount of you can think of, that I needed to close this deal today and it didn't close? But I know the governor who's going to call the bank president to get the funding, who can call the president of the Maricopa County Treasurer's Office or the Recorder's Office to open up to make this special recording. Can it conceivably possibly be done?
No.
Well, it can. It won't be, I get that, but it can be because of that, in my opinion, because of that possibility. That's why they say a day ends at 11:59. So if you're going to issue a cure notice, you just need to wait till 12:01.
So, I'm sorry. So does that make it void if you didn't?
No, you just have to reissue. It just makes it invalid or void, I guess.
It does make it invalid.
I don't think anybody's going to fight you on it, to tell you the truth. If you did it at 6 o'clock, I don't think anybody's going to fight you on it. You just have to do it the right way.
Do you remember the one we had where I issued
Yes.
it? And then it was a whole shit
It was a mess,
show.
yeah.
And and we did the anticipatory breach and blah, 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 blah,
Right.
and seller got the earnest
I
money.
know.
It
That was
bullshit.
bad. That was really bad.
But that was the first, and that was a couple years ago. That was
Sure.
kind of the first experience that we had with that.
So, anyway, it just, I'm going to try to bring out these controversial issues that come up. These are real case studies. And lastly, there's 4 congratulations. One is to Emily, because Emily became an aunt last night. So we will call her Auntie M. Auntie M. We have a coming congratulations in May to another Emily.
Wow.
And I understand you became a grandmother when?
Last week.
Last Tuesday. And I'll congratulate me because I became a grandfather in December. Oh, I'm sorry. And Frankie became a grandmother
November 29th.
November 29th. Something in the RMFP water. Who's next? Who wants to be next?
Nope.
Not here.
Yeah.
So does anybody, when you have on your MLS showing that you must notify the listing agent and all that, and then they don't, does anybody report that?
Yes, okay, so let me talk about that. I'm sorry.
We have a great story on that one.
Maybe you've heard my story before. Peggy, can I tell a story?
Tell them the whole thing.
And I'll try to Peggy got fined or got a complaint against her from another agent. Peggy was the buyer side. 3 months, 4 months after the close of escrow.
Oh, no, I remember that.
Okay.
I'll
Peggy
go
was
back.
fined $4,500 for 9 violations, $500 each for not following the instructions. So we fought it.
And they reduced it to $1,000.
Yeah, and even that was wrong, but they did. And I sit on the Armless Board of Directors Rules Committee, so at least I see what goes on the inside. Just follow the rules because there's not a big defense.
So I'm saying if I'm the listing agent.
Right.
And then people are showing the house without calling me.
You can report them.
Right.
Can you change your lockbox to CBS?
You couldn't, that's why people do it.
Oh, yeah.
That's why people do it, because here's what happens, right? You may have got put in a bad spot with your seller, maybe there was an alarm, maybe somebody was home, maybe the dog needed to be put out, whatever the case may be, somebody used your lockbox without your permission. And they'll say, well, it was a vacant house, it doesn't make a difference. It doesn't make, that's not for them to decide.
Yeah, and I've gotten text messages saying, I see it's a vacant house, but, so why do you want me to?
It doesn't make a difference, whatever reason you want, it makes no difference. So what I would suggest is, my suggestion, you have a right to call out the other agent. And if they're nice to you and they apologize, it was a mistake,
When you say call out the other agent.
just call them up and say, hey,
Well, yeah.
and if, this is just me.
You just hope he
If
doesn't
they're
about to
nice
write a
about it,
contract.
I'd let it go. But you know what? If they're nasty to me and they're just rude to me, all I have to do is press a button, $500. There's no defense, zero. There's no defense against it. They will,
I didn't know where the button was.
it's, you know. Go ahead, Peggy. Wait.
What you didn't tell them is that I was under contract during that whole time.
Oh, no, I remember that.
Using the lockbox.
Yeah, it was a whole mishmash of
Oh,
stuff.
I've heard that.
But in answer to your question, that's my suggestion. Just call them out on it. If they're just nice and they apologize, we all make mistakes.
Some don't know.
Maybe they didn't.
They don't know.
Listen, some of us are old timers, right? Vacant lockbox.
Right.
That just meant go and show. That's what it meant back in
No,
the
but
day.
if the showing time thing's up there, just click on it.
Yeah.
It takes you 3 seconds.
That's all. That's my. But if they're not going to be nice to you back, I'd fine them. You know, that's okay.
Thank you, Sandy.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Sandy.
All right, Birthday Friday is the last Friday of every single month. How many people come to Birthday Friday? We should see a lot more of your hands. I know that you're out busy, and we love that you're busy. If you're not, come in and actually visit with your fellow agents, because they work different areas than what you do, and one day you may actually need someone, and this is where you make that connection. So because of Birthday Fridays, everybody likes them, right? We'll take suggestions as well. We have budgets that we have to work within, but because of Birthday Fridays, we are able to do that because of the people that are around the perimeter. And those are our vendors. We can't tell you which vendors you want to use. We would suggest that you use all of our vendors at every chance you get. We know that you have relationships. But what if that relationship starts to break down? You have backups right here. So we're right over here with Chicago Title. We have Jill and Allie. You're not going to say anything?
He didn't have a sign for us today, so I'm a little thrown off.
Well, we're going through the branding change for you.
Right. Good morning, everybody. So we did our first digital marketing class. Actually, we did the first two. The second, we were a little lax because we had been on vacation. But the one next month is going to be ads.
Yeah, so we're actually going to be analyzing your advertising on social media. So if you guys are running ads on social media, Facebook, Instagram, we're going to go through the analytics. I think we a lot of times talk about the ads themselves, but we're not looking at the aftermath and how you guys are changing things and adapting to the changes in technology and what people want to see and all of those things. So we're going to go through what your analytics look like, and we're going to help you really adjust those ads to really get the results that you're looking for. So it's going to be a little bit more technical. Bring your computers. We'll go through a lot of the ads that you guys have currently been running or have recently run, and we'll help you kind of adjust those and move forward as the different algorithms and whatnot changes on Facebook and Instagram.
All in an
Thanks.
hour.
All in 1 hour.
It's February 12th at your office.
Yes.
Mary, since you're already saying. Perfect timing.
Good morning, everybody. I guess you'll say Happy New Year, right? Happy New Year, Mary Boyens, Lady Fidelity National Home Warranty.
Sharon?
Good morning, everyone. Sharon Wolf Furman, AJF Engineering and Inspections. Happy New Year. The year started off really busy for us with a lot of pre-listings and a lot of luxury homes. So I just wanted to mention that to all of you, because if you do have listings that you want to market, it's something to consider. And with recall check and the warranties, you used to not be able to get them with pre-listings, and we got that to change at the end of last year, so that's exciting. And the new structural warranty is in place. You automatically get a 6-month structural warranty with a home inspection and a recall check.
Great.
Thank you.
Julie.
Good morning, Julie LaRasa with Stewart Title. If you haven't been to our office recently, stop by. We did a big renovation, added space, made a large training conference room, new carpet, new tile, new paint, so it's fresh and ready to go. So stop by and say hi. And I had the opportunity to be at Stewart Western Region Sales Rally last week, so we have a lot of great new tools, a lot of good strategies to help you increase your business. Call me, let's get together, and I'll help you this year. Happy New Year.
Yeah.
Deanne with AC Realty Media. We're your partner in real estate marketing. You have to give it a try. And your new agents, we give you $20 off your first order. My pricing starts at $129. That's $190 with the full marketing package. Virtual tour, YouTube video, brochure template, email template. Also, we're having a new structured virtual tour. It's beautiful. It's very robust. You can now attach your 3D Matterport, your 3D Zillow to it. So give us a shot.
Dan, are you now doing 3D Zillow or?
Yes, we are. And are you guys familiar with 3D Zillow? Zillow's taking over the market, so now you have an option to put a 3D Zillow image in there, a walkthrough, or a virtual tour, or you get 3D Zillow, and then you have a virtual tour or a Matterport. So if you have a Matterport, you don't get to virtual tour, it's one or the other. But with our virtual tour, you can now have both up there on Zillow. You also need to have 3D walkthrough on Zillow. It's very, it's very nice. You walk through the house. So give us a call. It's $400 for 2015.
Thanks, Rebecca.
Good morning, Rebecca Neesmith with Allstate Insurance. I've got 7 licensed agents between my 2 offices, so please consider me your insurance resource if you need anything regarding flood insurance, liability insurance. I'm here for your questions. Thanks.
Thank you. Julie.
Good morning, Julia Walker, Fairway Independent Mortgage. I did want to touch on the government shutdown briefly. The only loans we're really seeing impacted right now are USDA, and some of the jumbo investors are requiring transcripts, and so we're having to shift from some of the investors to others so that we can get them funded. We have continued to fund conventional and FHA loans without delays, even without having some of the required transcripts that are needed from the government. So we're pushing on, and interest rates are currently at 9-month lows, if you guys have heard, and this is due to really tame inflation as well as a slowdown in some of the economic data. So in mid-2018, we expected 4 rate hikes in 2019, and now they're calling for 0 to 1. And so that's good. We're expected to see interest rates stay low, go a little bit sideways depending on the economic data and the stock market, but some positive news. So have a great week.
Thanks. Troy.
Troy Peterson. My colleagues Rob and Jen are not able to make it this morning from Fidelity National Title. Just one quick little thing, open house kits. If you're doing open houses over the next few weeks and months, something we put together includes Cromford reports unique to the area that we have agreement with them on, some open house feedback forms, as well as if you're interested in the area, we can pull a farm for that area specific to the kit as well, if that's helpful for you. But we'd love to talk to you, connect with you, and help you if we can. Thank you.
Thank you. Dennis.
Hi, Dennis Nobley. I'm the owner of Horizon Inspection Service. This is Bev. She's our marketing director. I just wanted to introduce myself to those of you who weren't here for the last meeting. I joined up with you in November, beginning of November, and at the last meeting I said something about being new to you. I'm not new to the industry, so Bev said, make sure they know you're not new. Now, I have 20 years of experience doing inspections in the Valley, so a couple things I just want to know. When you hire me, when your customer says, hey, you know a home inspector? Of course I do. Here's 2 or 3 that you can choose from. Who would you choose? Well, I think I would choose this guy. He takes his time, walks you through at the end, makes sure you understand. He's available to you. I'm available to you as well. I got a call late Saturday night from an agent. Buyers having cold feet, they're worried about the inspection. Saturday night, I'm sitting in the lazy boy, and I'm like, I'm so glad that I answered the phone and I could take care of that for them right there. So anyway, I'm available to you. Yeah, it's important because things have to happen, and I know that, and I'm right on top of that. So I'm available to you weekends, nights, whatever has to happen. Also, there's a really cool thing that you can do with the inspection report system that I use, okay? And I want you all to learn how to use it, because once you do, you're gonna be like, this is awesome, I love this, okay? And you know how you do your Benzer, you know, and you create your Benzer, and you probably all have a spreadsheet or something that you use, and it takes time to put everything from the inspection report onto your Benzer, right? This program I use, you can walk right through the report, it'll walk you right through the report item by item and say, what do you wanna do? And you just click on it, says, I want it to be repaired, I want money back on this, I want money toward this, or I want to ignore it. One at a time, it'll walk you through it. When it's done, you create this list, it's called a repair request list, and it has the pictures with the requests, and you can attach it to your Benzer, just say see attached, and there it is, your repair request list. It's a wonderful thing, some of you have probably already gone through it, but please, when we're done here, come get my card, email me, I'll send you a little demo on how to use it, I'll let you go get a report and practice, okay? It's fantastic, I promise you'll love it. Nice to meet you, I've had an opportunity to meet several of you already, and I look forward to meeting the rest of you, so thank you.
Thank you. Tara.
Tara Carter, Old Republic Home Warranty. How's everybody doing? Yay, 2019, let's do this. Just so you know, the best-selling author of The 7 Levels of Communication, Michael Mayer, he is coming back to town for free February 5th and 6th. So it'll be for an hour and a half. You can sit through some great information that'll help you build your business this year. So let me know if you want an invitation. I'm sure you'll get an email from me anyway. But he comes every 2 years, so this is a really great. He's got 2 teams. He has a team in Kansas City and one in Atlantic City, or I'm sorry, in Atlanta, and he gets 500 referrals a year. So he's going to be here to tell you how he does it. So I hope you can find a time to come see him. So thanks.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Dale, you ready to take a picture?
Yeah, almost.
All right.
I have one thing to share. Did anybody receive a text message from a competitor recently?
Yeah.
All right, so I just want to get the last word with this group. No, you know why? You guys, yes, everybody in this room is a first-round draft choice. So if I was the owner of the Cleveland Browns, I would want every one of you on my football team, right? Because you guys know the 4 most important things, right? It's taken me 5, 10 years, you know, whatever it is, so that our company's all on the same page. Lead generate, lead follow up, negotiate, present, right? So of course the whole industry is going to want you. So I want to share just one thing. Is Sandy really a competing broker? No. Has he ever taken a deal from anybody in this room? No. All right. Have I ever taken a deal from anybody in this room? Absolutely not. All right. So this is fascinating. One of our competitors, this happened within 24 hours. One of our competitors has a licensed wife in the business, and he says he's not a competing broker or owner. So this was on his webpage within 24 hours. You can see his wife. It's going to be a little blurry, but here's his wife. And then within an hour, he changed it and replaced it with this Cynthia Jenkins and took his wife off. By the way, his wife does about $12 million a year, right? So, yes, I'm out there with you guys in the trenches, and one of the reasons is because I'm very fortunate to be there, but also I teach it, right? And looking at Sandy in the technology that he went through on zip forms and all the other stuff that he was saying, here I am, a top producer, I didn't even understand it. In today's industry, if you didn't have a broker out there actually working it and going through the process of zip forms and DocuSign and showing time and all this other stuff, I don't know how you could get that information out to your agents. I agree. Right? And the fines, right? And the proper process and the due diligence and the time frame of can you file it at 5 o'clock or is it 12:01? I saw some people rolling their eyes. That was a little like, does 7 hours really make a difference? Yeah. Because if you filed it early, then does it even exist versus file it on time and doing it right the first time? It makes a difference, right? So we want to remain relevant for you. We're not competitors. We're here to help you. And I really want to thank you guys. So one of the things we're going to finish with is we're going to take a photo of everybody in this room because we're going to put it out there at 1.135 billion. So we're going to push these chairs back.
Send it to that email.
Send it to what email? Yeah. So we're going to push the chairs back and we're going to get everybody the photo, including vendors. So it's going to be hard.
What does that look like?
What is that? Yeah.